Hi everyone, I'm Michael Uriarty or Dr. Mike, and welcome to Technique Talk, the MYK System, and more. This is episode 10 in our series of comparing and contrasting other techniques with the MYK system. Today, we're going to talk about the Diversified technique. If you want more information on either technique, I have the website links in the description below. Whether you're a patient looking to get help or a practitioner looking for a good technique to learn, this series is what you need. Let's dive in. How did Diversified technique start? Diversified has its roots in the early years of chiropractic, dating back to the 19th and the early 20th centuries. The technique was developed as a synthesis of various manual adjustment methods, incorporating the best practices and principles from several chiropractic pioneers, including D.D. Palmer, the founder of chiropractic, and his son B.J. Palmer, the developer of chiropractic. Over the years, Diversified technique has evolved and been refined, incorporating advances in biomechanics, neurophysiology, and clinical research. Today, the technique is taught in chiropractic colleges worldwide and forms the foundation of chiropractic education and practice. Now, the MYK system was developed by yours truly, and I never would have gotten into soft tissue work if it hadn't been for my first two offices right out of school. Right after I graduated, I saw that a local chiropractor wanted to share space in his office. He would have his office and I'd have mine, and we would just share the expenses. And the best part, he had graduated from Palmer College the year before me, and I thought, wow, this is meant to be. And I went and I got a business loan and calculated that if I didn't pay myself, but the absolute bare minimum, I could stretch my money to almost 3 years. I would have 3 full years to build my practice with this money. So I shared space with this guy, and right away, some of the expenses were a little more than he had told me. It was like every month, the expenses kept going up and up. One day I asked to see the receipts, and he got really mad, and he said that my check was my receipt. So the next month I asked to see the receipts again, and he said that he had already shredded them. Well, red flags were going off in my head like crazy, so I told him that I had to see the receipts for the next month or I wasn't going to pay. Well, just a couple of days later, we were out of x-rays, and so I called the x-ray guy to order more film. And he gave me the price, and I said, no, I want the big box of x-rays. And he goes, that is the price for the big box of x-rays. And so, for the film. And I called 2 other vendors to check prices and found out that this guy had been doubling and tripling the prices of everything and then making me pay. So I had run through a lot of my business loan in just 9 months. So we had signed a 6-month lease, and he didn't make me re-sign another 6 months, so I could basically leave anytime I wanted to, which I did. So I found another place to go about a week later, and I left. So I moved into this second office, which is about 2 miles from the first office, so it wasn't too terribly bad. And this guy also wanted to share space, so I set up shop. And he was never in the office, which I thought was odd. Since he was in the office first, everything was in his name, and this time I made him show me every single receipt that I was paying for. So each month I paid rent and my portion of the expenses. A few months went by, and he got a letter from the state, and then he got one from the city. And about a month went by, and another letter from the state and city, and they just kept coming into the office. And since he was never there, I would go and put it on his desk, and a few more letters came, and they were showing up closer and closer and closer together. And again, he was never there. It was the weirdest thing. So I kept asking him how he made money since he was never in the office, and he would tell me, well, my family has money, and in my head, I was like, well, that must be nice, So he called me and he said, hey, I'd like to meet over the weekend and talk about you taking over the office, because he was going to move back to his hometown and work with his family or something. And I thought, wow, this could be pretty cool. So on Friday, another letter from the state showed up. And so I went and put it on his desk, and his drawer was open, and I saw all the other letters from the state and the city, and not one of them had been opened. And I instantly got a sick feeling. And so I took the latest letter and I went over to the X-ray light. It's really, really bright. And man, I put that letter up there and I was pushing on it. I was like, oh, can I read what's in here? And anyway, there was a portion of it that said that we've been trying to get a hold of you because you have not paid for this and that, and these bills and these taxes and everything. All the things that I was paying him for. So I read down at the bottom and it said, if we don't hear from you, because we've been sending you all these letters, if we don't hear from you, we're going to come and shut your office down, and it's going to be on Monday morning. And I knew he wasn't going to call. He hadn't even been opening the letters. So I called him and I said, hey, man, I'm not going to be able to meet you this weekend. And so basically what I did is I went into the office. I only had a table in the office, but I went and grabbed my table out because I was like, well, if they're coming to shut it down, I want to get my stuff out. So I got my table out, and sure enough, I went back Monday morning and there was tape across the door and it said, do not enter. And everything in here is confiscated and all this stuff. And I was like, thank God I got my stuff out. Well, at this point, I was extremely depressed because I didn't want to go work with another chiropractor. I'm like, good God, I've just gone in with two different guys and they both kind of screwed me here. And so I was like, I'm going to, go open up my own office or find somebody else. And I ended up opening an office with 5 massage therapists. And I didn't have another chiropractor at the time. And so real quick, I saw the value of soft tissue work. And about 6 months into working with them is when I started putting this technique together. And there's a little bit more to this as well as far as how we put it together, but that's good for now. That was a long enough story. But I'm a big believer that everything happens for a reason. And I never would have ended up putting this technique together if I had not been screwed over by the first 2 people that I went into business with. So I'm not upset with the first 2 guys that screwed me over because I wouldn't have found my passion without that. And so anyway, all right, let's move on. What is the theory and philosophy of the diversified technique? So the primary goal of Diversified is to restore optimal joint function and alignment, thereby enhancing nervous system function and promoting overall health and well-being. This is achieved through the application of precise, high-velocity, low-amplitude thrust to specific joints and spinal segments. The technique is characterized by its specificity as an adjustment targets a particular joint or spinal segment, and its adaptability, allowing the chiropractor to tailor the treatment to the patient's unique needs and preferences. So Diversified encompasses a range of manual adjustments, including spinal adjustments, extremity adjustments, and may include mobilization techniques. So these adjustments are performed using the chiropractor's hands without the use of instruments or additional tools. Its application may vary depending on the patient's condition, age, and other factors. So let's talk about what is a high velocity, low amplitude adjustment. So they abbreviate it. Everything gets abbreviated nowadays. I get so confused with all the abbreviations, but they abbreviate it as high velocity, low amplitude. So HVLA, high velocity, low amplitude. Okay, so this is a rapid use of force over a short duration or distance within the range of motion of a joint to engage the restrictive barrier in one or more planes of motion to elicit a release of restriction. That's actually pretty clear. That was actually pretty clear. It wasn't too terribly bad on that. All right, so the purpose is to restore motion to a restricted joint or improve function. So I just broke it down really, really small into that. So from a theory and philosophy standpoint, what Diversified and the MYK system are trying to do is very similar, because Diversified is not just trying to restore motion to one segment. By getting this segment freed up, it's allowing the nervous system to function better. And allowing the nervous system to function better is what the MYK system is all about. So we just go about it in a little bit different way. So the MYK system is 100% soft tissue, and we're looking at posture from a global standpoint. So posture is the outward expression of the nervous system. So if we can balance the posture, it means that we've balanced the nervous system. And if the nervous system is balanced, the body starts to function the way it's supposed to function. We're going to do this by treating all the muscles along one nerve pathway and getting a change in each of these muscles as far as what they send to the brain. The brain then receives all of this and instantly makes changes to the posture by contracting or relaxing other muscles that we never even touched. Again, the MYK system is not chiropractic, so we're not going in and moving, mobilizing, or adjusting a segment. We're strictly working on the muscles. Now, what does Diversified say it helps? Diversified is used to address a wide range of conditions, including back pain, neck pain, headaches, joint issues, sciatica, sports injuries. Some of the benefits are pain relief. So by correcting subluxations and restoring proper joint alignment and function, Diversified can help alleviate pain and discomfort associated with various musculoskeletal conditions, such as back pain, neck pain, headaches, and joint pain. It will improve mobility and range of motion. So the adjustments performed in Diversified can help to enhance joint mobility, flexibility, and overall range of motion, allowing patients to move more freely and comfortably. It will enhance nervous system function. By addressing subluxations and promoting optimal spinal alignment, Diversified can help to remove interference from the nervous system, allowing for improved communication between the brain and the rest of the body. This can lead to enhanced overall health and well-being, and also injury prevention. Regular chiropractic adjustments using Diversified can help to maintain proper joint alignment and function, reducing the risk of injury and promoting overall musculoskeletal health. With the MYK system, we talk about these issues and more. To be fair, Diversified will say that they can help with many of the same conditions that the MYK system says it treats, because they are improving the nervous system function the same way that we are. I will say one thing here, of course. I learned Diversified technique, and I have used it on many of my patients over the years. One of the reasons that I eventually switched my office over to doing more and more of the MYK system is that I was getting better, faster, and longer lasting results than I was when I was adjusting. Now, I'm not saying that Diversified doesn't work, not at all. I'm just saying that I get better results with the MYK system. What does the practitioner do? So practitioners will take a history, do an exam, and then determine what needs to be adjusted. They will use their hands to perform quick, controlled thrust on the spine or other joints. The goal is to improve alignment, alleviate pain, and enhance overall function. With the MYK system, we do a full body postural exam that'll give us the precise level that needs to be treated. By using the MYK brain, and I call it the MYK brain because it does all the thinking for you, but if you use the MYK brain, you can just click on the postural imbalances that you see and then hit calculate. It gives you the primary, the secondary, and the autonomic nervous system treatment that needs to be done. It has all the videos so you can just watch and follow along. It even provides specific strengthening exercises that are specific to each person's postural imbalances and nerve problem. So I have a few videos on the MYK System YouTube channel that show a demonstration of how the MYK brain works. So go check that out. What professions learn this, and how much does it cost, and how many CEUs? So diversified technique is taught in just about every chiropractic college, and I cannot find that there are any classes out there in the real world that teaches the diversified technique for CEU credit. So basically, I find that it's mainly for chiropractors. If you know that other professions learn this, let me know in the comments below. But for now, I'm going to say that there's no CEU classes and it's only taught to the chiropractors. That's what I found, so that's what I'm saying. If you find out differently, let me know. With the MYK system, we treat all the professions. We teach all the professions. So especially all the ones listed in the notes below. So our classes are about $600 for the upper and the lower body, and those are for 20 CEUs. In some states, they will calculate the hours on 50 minutes, and so in those states, we can get up to 23 CEUs, so that's an even better deal. All right. What are the similarities and differences of Diversified and the MYK system? So we're going to do a quick recap here. So the similarities, and I'm reaching on this one. Trust me, I'm reaching on this one. Not really, but both techniques were developed by chiropractors. Now, I'm definitely not putting myself in the same place as D.D. Palmer or B.J. Palmer, but they were chiropractors, and so am I. And so, hey, that matches. You know, we're chiropractors. They made theirs, I made this. All right. The theory and philosophy of freeing up the nervous system is similar between the two techniques. How we go about doing that is very different, but what we want to accomplish is very close to the same thing. So we both want the nervous system to function better at a higher level. The difference in how we go about doing this, they will move a bone to help the nervous system function better, and the MYK system will balance the posture to accomplish this, and we only work on the soft tissue. Now, the conditions we say it helps are going to be similar. We both say it helps with regular things like headaches, back pain, and stuff like that. I will say personally, I got better results using the MYK system on things like shoulder problems, plantar fasciitis, headaches, carpal tunnel, tennis elbow, sciatica, things like that. Over the years, I've treated people with both techniques, with things like asthma, acid reflux, okay, different things like that. So what we treat is very similar because I've treated people with both techniques over the years with all these different conditions, but I gravitate towards the MYK system not because I teach it, not because I developed it, but because I get better results when I use it. Okay, moving on. So I think Diversified is only taught in the chiropractic schools, and the MYK system is taught as a CEU class. So we offer 20 CEUs for about $600 to a number of different professions. Again, you can find the professions in the notes below. I've had both of these treatments. Both are good. For subluxations, Diversified is great. If a person is not subluxated, the MYK system is fantastic. So if you've never had either of these, go get a treatment. Go try either or both of these out. Go ahead and hit the subscribe and the follow button. And if you made it this far, smile.